apparently Rogue Squadron is back in development over at Lucasfilm, and we'll see what happens. Let's talk about it. So 2 weeks ago, it was reported that Patty Jenkins, the director of Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984, was going to be returning to Lucasfilm to turn in a draft for Star Wars Rogue Squadron to Lucasfilm and Disney. And in a recent podcast, Patty Jenkins had talked about this, and here's what she had to say. When I left Star Wars to do Wonder Woman 3, and I started to work on that, we talked about, well, maybe I'll come back to Star Wars after Wonder Woman 3. So we started to deal for that to happen, she said. When Wonder Woman 3 then went away, Lucasfilm and I were like, oh, we've got to finish this deal. We finished the deal right as the strike was beginning, so now I owe a draft of Star Wars. Now, let's talk about this, shall we? Because Wonder Woman 1984 released in 2020, and Rogue Squadron was announced, in 2021? And it's been 3 years. It has been 3 years since this project has been announced. Like, they did a whole teaser for it, and to be honest, I was quite excited. But I also, when it was announced that Star Wars Squadron was no longer in development and was back on the shelf to be touched by possibly somebody else that wasn't going to be Patty Jenkins, I was like, okay, we're never going to see this project even come to fruition, which honestly sucks. The idea of a pilot Star Wars movie was kind of sad. Essentially, Rogue Squadron is supposed to be the Top Gun Maverick to Star Wars, an actual movie about wars in the stars, and a lot of people were excited about this. But like I said, when it was announced that the project was no longer going forward because Patty Jenkins' schedule had filled up, she was originally going to be doing Wonder Woman 3 and the HBO Max original series The Amazons, which was a prequel to Wonder Woman, and then she was going to be doing Cleopatra, like, during all three of these things. And this is a major problem for me. I don't understand why, when I addressed this a couple last year or even the year before, stating that Lucasfilm has a massive problem with hiring directors who have schedules that are just really busy, or just don't seem as passionate, or just seem to lack the trust of creative directors. Rian Johnson's trilogy is never going to happen. Taika Waititi's film is never going to happen. We were never going to see Zack Snyder's Star Wars, even though we got to see that on Netflix, which was titled Rebel Moon. And we're never going to see the Game of Thrones director's trilogy of Star Wars. And the Book of Boba Fett, which was originally supposed to be a movie, turned into a show, and that was absolutely crap. Obi-Wan Kenobi was supposed to be a movie, and that became absolute crap. The Lando show that was turned into a movie that was going to feature Donald Glover overseeing the project was going to be a film, and now is going to be a Disney Plus series, and now the project is now canceled. It's just, there's too much going on over at Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm right now is an absolute hellhole, especially with the recent trailer of Star Wars The Acolyte, which no one is excited about. So, in all honesty, what are my thoughts about this? I dropped a poll recently stating, asking the question, do you think we'll ever get to see this film happen? And some of you guys answered pretty positively that it was going to be made. And some of you guys were just like, no, we're never going to see this made. And a few of you had stated it's a possibility we'll get to see this. I would love to see a Top Gun like Star Wars movie. It's just, do I think that we're actually going to see this project? It's a 50-50. Now, like I said, Patty Jenkins, like Patty Jenkins even said, she owes a draft to Star Wars. So she has an idea of the film. She hasn't wrote in a draft. Now, this was 2 weeks ago. Most likely the draft has turned in by now, and most likely it could be in development. But all these people saying that, oh, Star Wars Squadron is back in development, all this other stuff. right now it's a pitching stage, it's the draft stage, it's the very, very early stages. It's not even really in development. So we'll get to see what happens here. I would say this film is most likely going to release probably after the Rey movie, which is most likely going to be releasing the following year after the Mandalorian and Grogu film that is set to release in 2025. But yeah, this film, I really want to see this film. I really want to see Patty Jenkins direct a Star Wars film. She did a great job with Wonder Woman, a okay job with Wonder Woman 1984. But let me know, guys, what do you think about this? Do you think that we'll get to see this movie in theaters? Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think about this? What do you think the film could possibly be about? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Peace out.